You and I, we're gonna revolutionize productivity and how it affects our mental health. With one simple language trick, we are gonna beat the perfectionism that comes with being productive. My name is Kaylin, and if you like what you see today, please subscribe, like, share, all that jazz to see more of this, and make sure you stay tuned for a follow-up video to this one, where we look at practical steps for this trick. So I ended up putting a post on Reddit about a thought I was having about changing some language, and it completely blew up. And that's when I knew our issue isn't so much with productivity or being productive, but what that has come to mean. So we're gonna shift that language a little bit, and I really wanted to talk about this in more detail because so many people were finding it so valuable. So here it is. Change your language. Instead of having a productive day, can you have a fulfilling one? So some of you heard that and went, oh my God, you just blew my mind. And some of you are like, I get it, but I don't get it. So here's why something like this is so impactful or so kind of thought-provoking. Right now, for most of us, the definition of productivity is getting stuff done. But if you don't get stuff done, then there's the opposite, which is failure. So right now, productivity isn't coming without failure. There is the possibility to fail. This gets our perfectionism all in a tizzy. It doesn't help with your anxiety or depression if you're struggling with that. But changing the language to fulfilling does something a little bit more magical because of how we define that word. Fulfilling is different because it allows you to do things that aren't productive or things that you can't put on a to-do list and still feel good about the day that you had. It gives you permission to do things like self-care or reading or spending time with a friend. And these are things that we don't necessarily put on a to-do list, so they're not there to be accomplished, but they are things that make us feel good and make us feel fulfilled about the day that we had. Better yet, you can be productive and have a fulfilling day at the same time. Fulfilling allows productivity or getting stuff done to rest under that umbrella. It just covers a lot more than productivity does and comes without the possibility of failure. It's a word that lets us fill our days with more value. So we're gonna dive into this even more, but what are you thinking about this so far? Leave me a comment and let's talk about it, because this is something that I think is really thought-provoking. And if you think you have a friend that could really benefit from hearing something like this or start accessing this shift and this change in language, please share it with them. So diving even deeper into this, I wanna be really, really clear here. It's not that being productive isn't fulfilling. I find accomplishing the little tasks that I give myself in a day really fulfilling. Or if I clean my house, that's something that makes me feel good and makes me feel fulfilled. One of the problems that I run into with my perfectionism is that I write a super long to-do list of 72 things to do, and there is no way ever in heck that I'm going to get them done. So I set myself up for failure, and then I start not feeling good because now I have failed at 68 of the 72 things. And on the other side of that, there are things that I don't want to put on a to-do list because they're not a task or a chore to be accomplished. Things like my morning yoga routine or spending time with my roommate or my cat are things that I find fulfilling, but I don't want to put them on a to-do list and run into the risk of them becoming a chore or becoming something to fail at. If I spend time with my roommate in a day, awesome. If we do our own thing, awesome. Having a fulfilling day kind of takes that failure out of the equation. And that's something that society has really, really pressured into the word productivity, that you have to be getting things done. And that if you don't, it's failure. And I want to be able to have days where I feel fulfilled about what I did, even if I needed a rest day. If a rest day and doing nothing and watching Netflix was what I needed, that is fulfilling. I also think language shifts like this are really, really important for those that are struggling with things like anxiety and depression. Language is extremely powerful, and reframing thoughts is a really, really good way to be able to manage some of that. And for all of us, no matter where we come from or who we are, this is an opportunity to be much kinder with yourself, which you deserve. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let's talk about this. Please share with somebody that you think could really benefit from this kind of shift in language. And I will see you next time.